days, we have been assured of our capacity to significantly, exponentially increase the capacity to test. And this is something that, again, is critical at this moment.
Critical, Governor Gavin Newsom says, because they're monitoring more than 8,000 people, though nationwide there are just 60 confirmed coronavirus cases. One in California. The patient did not travel or have no contact with anyone sick, but is in the county where Americans were flown back from China and that infected cruise ship in Japan. They're still working on the response in Washington. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in D.C.
Dave, Fox News has learned lawmakers are closing in on a package of around $7 billion to prepare for and fight the coronavirus. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says much of the effort will go towards developing an affordable vaccine.
Lives are at stake. This is not a time for name calling or playing politics.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, who's a doctor, says some of the money will be spent on face masks. And he says healthcare workers should get first dibs.
There will be personal protective equipment for those who are providing healthcare services and others as needed.
The CDC doesn't recommend face masks for people without symptoms. Instead, it stresses hand washing. Dave?
Rachel, globally, there are more than 83,000 cases reaching sub-Saharan Africa for the first time, and Iran is reporting 34 deaths, the most outside China. Global stock sell-off continued this morning. Overseas, futures are down on Wall Street the day after the Dow's biggest point drop ever. In South Carolina,
Senator Sanders' Medicare for All push will be a long, expensive slog.
Joe Biden is leading the polls ahead of tomorrow's Democratic primary, but Bernie Sanders leads a new Fox national poll at 31%. That's 13 points ahead of Biden. Blake Bloomberg, third at 16%.
I am running a campaign for change, a campaign for inclusion and honesty and compassion.
He's been focused on Super Tuesday next week. 14 contests, about a third of all delegates at stake. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
How can a fully stocked restroom improve your image? How can serviced fire extinguishers or a first aid cabinet make your employees more prepared? How can comfortable work apparel make your business more productive? For over 1 million customers, the answer is simple. Cintas. Cintas delivers everything you need to open your doors with confidence. Because helping keep businesses well-equipped, clean, and looking their best, that's our business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
The presidential candidate who's sixth in that Fox News national poll of Democrats, Amy Klobuchar, at 5%, campaigned on TV last night.
With the South Carolina primary Saturday, Klobuchar took part in a Fox News town hall in North Carolina, which will be contested on Super Tuesday. She addressed issues such as coronavirus and the fight ahead to stop it.
We are all in this together, and we're going to have to get the information to people. We're going to have the funding on the federal level.
She also says she's the candidate willing to court every voter.
And I've done it by reaching out and bringing people with us. I think that's what our nation needs right now.
The latest Fox News poll has Klobuchar sixth among Democrats, even with the third most popular votes tallied in the 3 contests so far. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Police in Milwaukee are still trying to figure out why a man opened fire at that still-closed Miller Brewery in Milwaukee, killing 5 co-workers, then himself. His name is Anthony Farrell. Neighbors say he did build guns from mail-order parts, and he also had suffered an injury on the job. He missed work, and according to one neighbor, he had feared that spies from the brewery were watching him. Lawmakers in 2 other states are working on new gun laws.
Some lawmakers in Nebraska's nonpartisan legislature pushing to ban guns from the state capitol after advocates showed up at a hearing with loaded semi-automatic weapons to protest gun control bills. Nebraska allows gun owners to openly carry rifles and handguns in most public places, but the incident last week terrified and angered some members of the legislature. Others criticized the display but noted protesters were within their legal rights. Meanwhile, Idaho's House of Representatives approving a bill to allow people 18 and older who can legally possess firearms to carry concealed weapons without a permit or training within city limits. Idaho already allows concealed carry in rural areas. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Again, on Wall Street, stock futures are lower, on pace to have the worst week since the October 2008 financial collapse. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. I'm Jamie Monticelli with your ESPN 93.5 local news update.
12 years in prison is a sentence for a Gifford man who robbed a woman at gunpoint while she worked in a restaurant. 46-year-old Chad Billings pleaded guilty to aggravated robbery. He pointed a BB gun at the employee of the Homestead restaurant and bar on Main Street in Gifford and demanded cash from the business. The woman had just come out of the bathroom. He got away with about $1,100. A bill being proposed in Illinois would require Illinois public and charter schools to teach kindergarten through 12th grade students, quote, inclusive, medically accurate, and culturally appropriate comprehensive sex education. The curriculum is not currently mandated. TheTelegraph.com says the program would include information that children and young people need to prevent bullying, foster healthy relationships, and prevent abuse or violence. Districts would be required to inform parents about the planned classes at the beginning of each school year, and parents could opt their children out of the lessons. You're up to date. I'm Jamie Manaselli.
Here is your ESPN 93.5 three-day forecast from the National Weather Service, and brought to you by the Blossom Basket Floors. They turn your feelings into flowers with great flowers that will last you 10 to 14 days. Fantastic. All you have to do is visit them at Village at the Crossing in Champaign, or Cunningham and Urbana. Call 367-ROSE or blossombasket.com. Good morning, Diane Ducey.
Good morning, Stevie. Welcome into the show from Dayton, Ohio. We've got some snow showers in the forecast, a 50% chance of that happening this morning. Today's high, 32, down to 16 this evening. Sunshine and a high near 40 tomorrow, though, down to 28 at night. More clouds on March 1st, Sunday, but up into the mid-50s and 50s essentially throughout next week. A great start to March. We've got some rain in the forecast Sunday night and into the first couple of days next week, but still, I'll take the milder conditions. We're currently at 24, feels like 14 on the wind chill. ESPN 93.5.
Got some snow overnight over here in Dayton, Ohio, but sunny and part 24 as well over here, just to the east of Champaign-Urbana by about 4 hours. Dayton, Ohio, where Grace starts her TV job this next Monday. It's only 3 days away. Wow. Anyway, it's gorgeous over here with the sun shining, and the 50s starting in Champaign-Urbana first of the week is pretty awesome. Fighting Illini beat Northwestern last night. We'll talk about that. Dr. Amina Bose is coming up from Hofstra University out in Long Island. We'll talk coronavirus as well. Ooh, there's a lot of concern out there. Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about that. Brother Johnny at the bottom of the hour. But a couple of days ago, if you missed it, I caught up with Fox News' The Story anchor, Martha McCallum, who's written an incredible book and about her family journey in Iwo Jima 75 years ago. And I wanted you to hear it in case you missed this from Martha McCallum, Fox News, just a few days ago.
I am. Hi, Stevie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martha McCallum, you're a real star, Martha.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You do wonderful work. The book is Unknown Valor. Your first book. It's your first book.
It is.
Congratulations.
I never thought it would happen.
I watched your show on Fox twice, and it was compelling, and I got to thinking this might be the last time anybody ever zeroes in on World War II guys, because they're just not going to live much longer. And you got hold of some people. Tell people who Harry Gray was.
So Harry Gray was my mother's first cousin. They were practically like brother and sister. My mom was an only child, and Harry's dad had passed away when he was 12, and my grandfather, Frank Bose, was like a dad to him. And Harry's mom was my Aunt Ann, who I was very close to growing up. So very tight-knit family. And Harry, like most young men in that time, wanted more than anything to go off and fight in World War II. And so his mom convinced him to stay home until he graduated from high school. And he had a very serious sweetheart in high school. Her name was Dorothy. And he took off for Paris Island shortly after graduation. And then he was sent to the West Coast. And along the way, he made friends. And some of those friends are people that were with him until the end, after they went to Guam, and then they all landed on this tiny 8-mile square island of Iwo Jima in the middle of the Central Pacific to fight what was the first battle that was on Japanese territory. All the other territories in the Pacific theater had been acquired territories by Japan and the United States after the Spanish-American War that they were fighting over. But when they got to Iwo Jima, it was homeland, and that made it really sacred territory for the Japanese, and they fought very, very hard. It was a brutal battle to hold on to it.
We wanted that for strategic purposes for landing airplanes. Is that right?
Correct. Most of the islands in the stepping stone strategy of the Pacific Theater were for that purpose. They were to figure out a way to eventually invade the mainland, even though both sides really never wanted that to happen. But it also served the purpose of putting pressure on the Japanese in hopes that they would capitulate and negotiate an end to the war. At that point, Iwo Jima had two main airstrips, and they wanted to use them to fly B-29s on missions over the mainland. They were doing bombing missions over the mainland of Japan, but they needed a place to land damaged ones because they couldn't make it all the way back. So these two airstrips were vital to the final months of World War II and securing that island. In the end, sometimes people do argue over whether or not Iwo Jima was necessary, and I think it's a valid discussion. Saipan was another option that may have worked, which we had already acquired. But in the end, 2,400 damaged B-29 bombers needed to land on Iwo Jima for safety. And in those missions flew about 2,400 men in various crews. So I think, those men, their lives were saved. They were protected by having Iwo Jima, the sacrifices that were made by these men, nearly 7,000 Marines.
Her book is Unknown Valor. It's Martha McCallum, Fox News Channel's 2020 election co-anchor, anchor of The Story every night at 6 o'clock Central Time. What did you feel when you landed on Iwo Jima, Martha?
It was amazing because there's only one trip that goes to Iwo Jima each year. The Japanese have control over the island once again. That happened in the late 1960s. And they allow both sides, the Americans and also Japanese dignitaries and soldiers, veterans, to travel to the island one time a year for what's called the Reunion of Honor Memorial Service. And so I got to attend that. There's two United flights that just specifically go from Guam to Iwo Jima and land there. But as we were flying in, and I was with a number of veterans who served there, a couple of whom had not been back since they were 17, 18, 19 years old, and to sit near them as they watched Mount Suribachi sort of come into view. That's the big volcano at the end of the island where everyone knows the famous flag-raising photo on the top of Mount Suribachi, which is what was used for the huge monument to the Marine Corps of the raising of the flag. That's where that happened. So when they all, kind of got very quiet as we started to dip under the clouds and see the island come into view, as you could just sort of see the memories rushing back for all of them. It was really moving. And landing on the island, we were all greeted by the Marine Commandant and other very high-ranking military officials, and the reverence with which they treated these men as they got off the plane was really beautiful. Their dedication, obviously, to country and to securing our freedom was profound, and it's remembered in a very real and heavy way when you land on the island with them. It's amazing.
You put the spotlight on guys like Harry Gray that didn't have a spotlight, and you mentioned that in your special, how it was important to remember all of those kids that didn't make it out. And the fact that you found Charles and was it George? I mean, guys that were there.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
It was unbelievable because, there were over 60,000 Marines on the island. So when I started writing the book, it really, I knew I wanted to try to find some of these individuals and see if they could kind of fill in the blanks for my aunt as to what happened to her brother. But I just was amazed when it actually happened because Dean Lawback in Pennsylvania, and he and I had been in touch through the Iwo Jima of America Association. And he said, I do know somebody who lives in Pennsylvania. He's 100 years old. His name's Charlie Gubish, and he was wounded the same day that your uncle was killed. And so we started talking, and he didn't remember Harry initially. And then, sort of down the road a little bit in the research, we went back to him and showed him a picture of Harry Gray, and then it all sort of came back to him. And he said, "Oh, that's Gray. That's my buddy Gray." He had called him Gray, and I guess when we said Harry, it didn't trigger it for him. But he said he was my foxhole buddy, and he was with him when he was killed, and another young man named Herman Creator from Ohio. So it was It was very moving, and I eventually brought my Aunt Nancy, Harry's sister, back to meet with him as well. So, and we're all going to be together this weekend on Saturday. There's a 75th anniversary celebration, commemoration, I should say, for all these men. There's 50-plus living Iwo Jima veterans who are going to be there at this get-together, so it's going to be pretty special.
Book is Unknown Valor, Martha McCallum. Lastly, the debate last night, when you watched, were you just happy you weren't trying to moderate that thing?
Yeah, I was, actually. They had a lot of good moderators on that stage, some of whom I have worked with for years. And I think, everybody came loaded for bear, and they thought that, you think about the coaching that goes into this and the discussions with the staff, and it was pretty clear that they had all said, look, you better get your, get your battle in there. Don't hold back. Make sure that you are leaning forward throughout this whole thing. And boy, with everybody leaning forward, you could barely hear anybody speak.
Well, and they just kept talking at the same time, and I'm going, whose turn is it? Anyway, it's like it's what a fascinating next few months we're going to have, and you're going to be right there. Listen, the reason you're so good is you're authentic. There's a realness there with Martha McCallum. It's kind of random, but Broadcast News and William Hurt put the tear in his eye or made himself cry. You actually, we feel what you're feeling, and I think that's a gift.
Oh, thank you.
You're wonderful at what you do. That's why you're the number one rated person at that time slot. But anyway, congratulations on Unknown Valor. I hope everybody goes and buys it. It's a touching story. You did an outstanding job, and keep up your great work.
Thank you so much, Stevie. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate talking to you. Martha McCallum, you can see her every night on Fox News at 6 o'clock with the story, and her book is Unknown Valor. Fox News Channel's 2020 election co-anchor Martha McCallum. ESPN 93.5. All right. That was fun the other day with Martha McCallum. Now let's check your morning sports. The Fighting Illini win.
Yeah, baby. So
go.
Happy to see our Illini in that 74-66 solid win against Northwestern. Did you see the game? Comment, Stevie.
Yes, we did see it, and it was one of those games you should win, but it's never easy, and we did win, and now we're 11-6, and we're tied for second place in the Big Ten.
Yes, that sums it all up. Thank you for that. Wisconsin over number 19, Michigan, 81-74. Let you know how crazy the Big Ten is and how good everybody is. Even the stinking Badgers, Stevie.
No, they won 5 in a row. They're dangerous. They're playing great. They weren't supposed to win in Ann Arbor, and they did.
Yep. Okay, so then we had number 23, Ohio State over Nebraska. That final was 75-54. Now we're gearing up for the game on Sunday against Indiana. That's a 1 o'clock start. And we have to have your big boy pants on what section you sit in, because 100% participation, Stevie. Odd orange.
I think Diane wants to be the zone police, and I'm telling you, there's going to be a number of people that participate, but most won't because they're just not going to get it going. Even the ones that remember, if you're an odd, you go orange. If you're an even, you go blue. They're trying to stripe the State Farm Center. I know some will try. Not everybody will, but Diane wants to give them a T-shirt if they don't remember.
That's right. And I do think Game Day is doing something so that you can get the right color on when the picture is taken, at least. But in any case, blue sections are in the even section. Odd, orange, easy to remember if you're going to that sold-out game on March 1st. So that's essentially sports. I know in about a minute or so we have our Fox Business Minute that is brought to you by Provident Financial Group.
Where partnerships are built on trust. Start a car, and don't panic, everybody.
I'm telling you, a lot of people are panicking right now, Stevie.
Yeah, it's coronavirus. The markets are going to have their worst week ever. Right. So, how's your weather?
Snow showers this morning, cloudy conditions. Today's high right around the freezing point. 16 our low tonight. We've got a high of 38 tomorrow, down to 28. 56 with more clouds on Sunday, and then up into the 50s really throughout the week. So it's a pretty good start to March from here. Is it like enter like a lamb and out like a lion? I don't know. Right now the temperature is at 24, and we'll get into that Fox Business Minute here on ESPN 93.5. It's 20 after.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More selling is expected on Wall Street today as investors consider warnings from companies reporting about how the coronavirus will impact their business. The Wall Street Journal says the travel sector has led the sell-off this week. Royal Caribbean Cruises is down more than 20%. American Airlines Group is down 19%, and Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings is down more than 18%. The virus also had an impact on business for China's online search engine Baidu. It says the extension of the Lunar New Year holiday break and closure of stores cut into its advertising business. Wayfair stock is slumping after it reported a wider than expected loss in the holiday quarter. Foot Locker's earnings were stronger than expected, but its sales declined in the holiday season. It had popular styles in stock, but shoppers were not buying as much. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
We've toiled and triumphed.
We choose to go to the moon.
And pushed mankind to new worlds. We fought for justice.
A turning point in man's search for freedom.
And freed a continent.
Tear down this wall.
But perhaps our greatest achievement isn't thanks to an athlete or an astronaut. It's at the very core of our country. Our greatest achievement is in your hands. Democracy 2020. Fox News. America is watching.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. Finding your way to retirement may feel like working your way through a maze. Without a guide, it's hard to see if you're headed in the right direction. We can offer guidance along the way to help you see the bigger picture and make good financial decisions. Contact us today at 3017 Village Office Place, Champaign. Call 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Gabriel Iglesias Beyond the Fluffy World Tour. Go big or go home.
My son Frankie is now 19 years old. I asked him, what are you doing? I'm watching other kids playing video games. Why would you watch something that you could be doing? That's dumb. Really, Dad? Every Sunday, I see you watching football.
March 11th, State Farm Center Theater. Tickets on sale now at statefarmcenter.com or 866-ILLINI-1. Gabriel Iglesias, Beyond the Fluffy World Tour. Go big or go home.
After 29 years at the U of I, the Illini shop on 6th Street is closing its doors for good. Total inventory liquidation now in effect. All items marked down at least 35%. T-shirts as low as $3 for $22. Long sleeve tees as low as $3 for $35. New markdowns daily with many items already reduced 50% or more. Top brands like Nike, Champion, Columbia, and more all on closeout. Shop early for the best selection of remaining Illini merchandise. Everything must go. The Illini Shop, 707 South 6th Street in Campustown.
ESPN 93.5, I am Stevie J. Good to have you listening. It's Friday. It's February 28th. Dr. Mina Bose is a genius. She's out at Hofstra University, Long Island, New York. How are you, Mina?
Well, I appreciate that, Stevie J. I know it might be a little overstated, but, very overstated. But I'm delighted to be on the show, and congrats to your daughter. Really exciting news.
Thank you. She'll be on Channel 2 in Dayton beginning this next week, and my new lunch hour is 11 to 12 Central Time when I'll be watching her on the new lifestyle show called Living Dayton. So I'm now a big Dayton fan, and Orville and Wilbur Wright and all of those cool guys lived around here. I saw there's a museum for Benjamin Harrison or some sort of something. I mean, he was our 23rd president. I didn't know anybody remembered Benjamin Harrison, the nephew, I think, of William Henry Harrison, right?
Yeah, they are related, and actually Benjamin Harrison is interesting because that was until 2000, the last election where the popular vote and the Electoral College didn't match up. That's why Grover Cleveland had 2 non-consecutive terms.
See, that's why Mina Bose is on the show. She knows history. Okay, I watched a debate the other night, and it was a dog fight. I don't know, when everybody talks at once, it sounds like the old Crossfire with Pat Buchanan. What the heck? How are we supposed to determine who's going to be the Democratic nominee?
Well, there's a process in place with the votes. As far as how the public makes a decision, these debates are, it's tricky. I was watching it and thinking, wouldn't it be better if each person could have a chance to make a statement and couldn't speak about the other one, so you wouldn't have all this back and forth and, the former Vice President Biden talking about not getting his time, and it just, it's a difficult debate. It's difficult to moderate these. But I'm not sure that people also, I have to say, Stevie J, they kind of like the fireworks.
Well, there's certainly fireworks, but here's the question for the learned one, ladies and gentlemen. How do you possibly navigate the left with the Bernie and the AOC, and if Bernie deems that he's getting it taken away again, how do you possibly coalesce around a Joe Biden or a Michael Bloomberg, who's someone who might be a little more moderate, that might work better in the general? But yet, if you take this from Bernie, I don't think they come and vote much like they did against Hillary. But yet, if you go Bloomberg or Biden, maybe more of the general population. But if you go Bernie, I don't know if he can beat Donald Trump. So how do you lasso this mess together?
Well, that makes the debate question easy. I don't know. There is news today. There are reports that some of the super delegates in the Democratic Party, which the Republicans don't have, and now they're calling them automatic delegates, they may not. They're questioning whether they would coalesce around Senator Sanders. And the problem there is if Bernie goes to Milwaukee with a plurality but not a majority, the 91 votes that he needs to get the nomination, and then the automatic delegates after the first ballot try to cast votes for someone else, I think there will be a huge fracture. I don't just think. There will be a huge fracture in the Democratic Party. So I don't know. I mean, this is kind of, the parties have been moving toward more small d democracy where, the popular vote counts. But if you don't like what the popular vote in your party is saying, what do you do? I mean, the Republicans kind of went through this in 2016, and if you remember, former Governor Kasich from Ohio, for a while entered the race and said he would be until the end. Senator Cruz was in. They both, before the convention, everyone gave in, and so I think the Democrats. If Bernie has the most votes, and especially if he has a significant lead, I don't see how they hand that nomination to a Bloomberg or a Biden. I think they have to go with what the party wants. Otherwise, it's I don't think the Sanders supporters would take that lightly.
Yeah, I understand. I agree.
To answer your question, how do you bring the party together? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does. That's the $64,000 question. Now, you and I probably never really matched up in our political votes, but we can chat, and that's the beauty of democracy is we can talk when we disagree. But I think everything's gone way too far left, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, I can certainly see the argument for it. I mean, you're right. I mean, you and I are kind of coming at this from different positions. As someone who teaches about it, I can see that argument. I think you could also argue that the Republican Party has gone completely off the rails. Certainly a lot of, I wouldn't even say it's Republican elites, right? A lot of people in the Republican Party who aren't necessarily supportive, may support certain policies of the Trump administration more so than the president. I mean, a lot of the issues with, the impeachment seems so long ago, but the impeachment, the tweets, the commentary on the Stone conviction. There have been, we haven't even gotten into staffing or immigration or anything like that, but there are a lot of issues there. But I see your point about the Democratic Party, and I guess the question is, right, how do you, I think the real question here is the American political system is based on compromise, that somehow Madisonian democracy, you're supposed to have competing views that can reach a decision that is acceptable to all, and everyone doesn't get everything they want. If people on both ends, the right and the left, start saying it's my way or the highway, the American political system isn't built for that.
Yeah.
And what you'll see is nothing gets done, and I don't know what won't be needed for something to get done, because I can't see how anyone would support a change in the structure unless it means that they get everything they want.
I think, and so yet if I'm out there and I'm saying I'm against open borders, I don't think you ought to be able to steal $1,000 in California without being prosecuted. I don't think that babies should be on a table and then decided if you want to abort them when they're actually living and outside the womb. I mean, there's some things that are like, what are you talking about? But yet I'll get shouted down if I say things like that, and that's not the old way. It's the talking about it. That's the only way we can figure things out. And if we're shouting at each other and wanting to fight each other, that's bad.
Has always been polarizing. That is one of, I've seen that since I was in college, actually, and since I teach. It's one of the most difficult issues to address with students. So I have had students do it, although we've had discussions, but it's very hard. But then the first two issues you mentioned, immigration and law and order, have also, I think the bigger point here that every issue is becoming polarizing makes it very difficult to have any sort of a rational conversation about what the options are, what the choices are, and what we're agreeing to and what we're giving up. We may not find agreement on those issues, but I think we're reaching the point where you're not even having any deliberative dialogue.
Yep.
It's kind of
Yep. I think that's
kind
right.
of signals with words, right? That either, okay, that's where you stand, so I'm not listening to you, right? I mean, there's research on this now, right? That people are taking policies as identity,
Yep.
right? Identity politics, and that is it's a problem. I think experts, right? I would say people who study political institutions say that the political system can endure, but it's, a lot can happen. It's hard to say what can happen in the next few years.
It's just there's some things that we're talking about that I can't even believe we've gone that far. And you can say right or left, but it's out there to where it's like we're not even able to discuss because we don't have the same basis of foundational beliefs. And so I don't know what brings it all together, but I do know that it's going to be a fascinating next 4 months, and I'd be sitting in the front row in your class raising my hand a lot. So it's a pleasure always, Mina. We appreciate always discussing, and thank you for your time as always.
Oh, my pleasure. Glad to talk again. And by the way, Benjamin Harrison was William Henry Harrison's grandson. I knew I was when
grandson.
You said nephew, I was like, I don't think that's quite right, but let me check.
Okay, all right, good
God.
God.
History and president.
Hey, thanks for the time, Mina. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Stevie J. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. You bet.
Sure.
Dr. Mina Bowe, she's presidential chair at Long Island Hofstra University. I always like our discussions. All right, ESPN 93.5. Some news coming up. We'll be right back. Brother Johnny next.
Good morning. I'm Jamie Monticelli with your ESPN 93.5 local news update. Authorities have made a second arrest in connection to a March 23, 2018 homicide investigation. That morning, police went out to the 100 block of Apricot Drive for a report of shots being heard. Police found 18-year-old Ricky Green of Urbana, who had been shot. He later died at an area hospital. Last month, the Champaign County State's Attorney's Office got a warrant for 22-year-old Michael Simmons for murder. Yesterday, the U.S. Marshals Service, with help from the Champaign County Street Crimes Task Force, arrested Simmons without incident. Earlier this month, 20-year-old Michael Chapman was also arrested for murder in the case. Champaign police arrested a 38-year-old Champaign man for allegedly shooting 3 men in a car last fall. The charges stem from a November 21st incident. Gregory Sappington had been wanted for aggravated battery with a firearm with armed robbery. The shooting happened in the driveway of a home in the 600 block of Alabama Avenue. You're up to date. I'm Jamie Monticelli.
Our kids are older. We still got a lot of driving that we're doing, supporting them in their various events. But our van had over 250,000 miles on it. It was time for an upgrade. When we were eating in the area of Savoy 16 Theaters, we saw a couple of great options. When we called the dealership at Honda BMW to let them know we were coming over, we met Tommy West. Going through the financial screening only took about 20 minutes. We drove it around some of the rural roads we were familiar with and fell in love with our new pre-owned van. It fit right in our budget. Go see Tommy West and the crew at Honda BMW. Drive Champaign.com.
Get the roof your home deserves. Roof Doctors. They have honest, reasonable rates. They give you competitive prices up front. No gimmicks or contractor pricing games. You can rely on Roof Doctors. No deposit required. No subcontractors. Over 30 years in business in the industry. Check out Roof Doctors at roofdoctorsco.com or call Tammy or Randy at 328-7529. Roof Doctors, 328-7529.
Big Grove Tavern at 1 East Main Street in downtown Champaign has something for everyone. Serving great steaks, seafood, and vegetarian dishes, along with a first-class wine, cocktail, and beer selection. Weekend brunches roll out a party with a mimosa bar and breakfast classics. Or maybe you need some private space for your next event, lunch, or meeting. Email sales@biggrovetavern.com or call 237-3505 for information on 3 private rooms. Big Grove, big flavor.
This is the OSF Healthcare Medical Minute.
February is Heart Month. I'm Ron Kosman. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon at OSF Heart of Mary Medical Center in Urbana. As a cardiothoracic surgeon, I do operations on organs in the chest, such as the heart and the lungs. The most common operation I do on the heart is bypass surgery to treat the blockages that cause people to have heart attacks. People develop blockages from atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. The primary risk factors for developing that are things like family history, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, smoking, being overweight, and not getting enough exercise. People can help to avoid developing atherosclerosis by controlling the risk factors. Family history we can't impact, but the other things are things that we can control to try to lower risk. At OSF Healthcare, we have a wonderful team of cardiologists and cardiothoracic surgeons to help you manage these processes.
This Medical Minute has been brought to you by OSF Healthcare. To learn more, visit osfhealthcare.org.
By the way, I sat with the doctors and Ron Kosman there at OSF Healthcare at the Go Red for Women event at the Champaign Country Club yesterday. The valet parking with my friend Ben Quattrone there from Honda BMW was fabulous. As I look at the weather today, it looks pretty good. We've got a high right around the freezing point and down to around 16. Some snow showers this morning. Tomorrow, sunshine and a high near 40, down to around 30. Up in the mid-50s on Sunday as we bring in March with some clouds and then a chance of showers late in the day. ESPN 93.5 with the temperature currently at 24. And I got everything going here, Stevie. I'm juggling pretty good.
You're doing a great job. We appreciate that. Did you say Ben Quattrone parked your car?
Well, he was actually at the bar. His guys were doing it. I mean...
No, I'm kidding. I got this vision of Honda BMW's managing partner, Ben Quattrone, parking your car. So that's pretty darn nice. All right. We're in Dayton, Ohio this morning. Brother Johnny, you there?
Stevie J, how's it going up there in Ohio?
Well, good. You know, I was talking yesterday that I think we've moved kids maybe and our family, I think nearly 35, 40 times now. So it's getting fairly routine with each semester colleges and all of the things in and out of rooms. So, Johnny, I'm not as young as you used to be.
It's a mobile society, Steve. You're doing a great job. It'll slow down. It'll slow down someday. But
yeah, I don't really want it to.
Sounds good.
I don't really want it to. If we didn't have Christian, we never would have got that couch up the stairs. There's no chance.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad you didn't have me. God. That's all I can say.
Well, I was huffing and puffing. Anyway, we're live from Dayton this morning, Brother Johnny. I'm seeing some inklings of the Democrats blaming Donald Trump for coronavirus.
Yeah, they did. Well, and it's sad because in this case, it's really hurting. It's really hurting the situation because the whole thing's a panic, and they're stoking the fire. And Trump's trying to say, "Look, it's going to be okay," and they say, "No, he's not taking it seriously." And in fact, they had an article in the New York Times. We should call it the Trump virus. And I read the article. I don't understand. I still couldn't get what she was connecting, how she did that, other than let's jump on Trump over it. And we've been laughing about it and kind of horrified by it at the same time for the last 3 years. But it's a shame, and obviously he had absolutely nothing to do with it. And I think he's doing actually fine as far as it's an unknown threat, and they're trying to get a handle on just what this thing is. We have 60 cases, I think, but nobody's passed away here yet, which is
right. Well,
big deal.
And it might be that there's a breakout, but remember the massive oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, and we were going to lose all wildlife as we know it and the environment would never recover. You did a little math and said, this isn't pretty, but there's a lot of water and it's going to be okay. And by golly, it was okay.
And that was just a natural media knee-jerk kind of, hey, this is a big story, and it kind of naturally spins out of control because it gets hyped. But this is kind of a double whammy. You got that going on, and then you see it's hurting the stock market. So everybody's piling on. We can get him. And again, the Democrats are just, a little early. Steve, is it March yet? This is our extra day every 4 years.
Yeah, tomorrow's the extra day. It's February 28th. No. Yeah.
Tomorrow's our extra day.
Yeah, right.
But there's still 7 months. It's going to be fine. He'll win again.
Yeah,
the stock market, I think, will rebound pretty fast. But man, it took a real beating yesterday, and that's one of his, of course, pillars of his success story.
Yeah.
So it's a very good political point if you could somehow turn it on him and keep it bad. You know what I'm saying? We've heard him talk about hoping for a recession just to get Trump out. We've heard him saying that.
No, I know. No, and
anyway,
markets are going to go. They're
not handling it right. Another thing I noticed in the New York Times, they had a lecture about how Trump has to be responsible for giving reliable information. I'm reading this in the New York Times, how important it is to the country for him to give reliable information. I'm like, look who's talking. Holy cow.
I know. Yeah. Well, I just talked to a professor at Hofstra, and I really like her, but I'm positive we've never voted the same, but we can discuss things, and I think that appears to be going away from where we can really get a dialogue that's meaningful anymore. And, I just said things have gone so far. How are they going to lasso, Bernie Sanders and that problem with the super delegates? Apparently the word's out there not going to support Bernie. And if they take that away from him, if he has a plurality but not a majority, what's that going to do? And she said there's going to be a huge fracture in the party, and it's going to be a mess. And she had no idea how they're going to navigate the AOCs of the world and the supposed moderates of Joe Biden.
Well, and that's just the political landscape, really. And I have to point out to her respectfully, there's already a fracture in that party, and that's the problem they have. And the moderates, I think they're planning to stand up to him at the convention, but they should have stood up to him on this impeachment thing. I think that ship has left the dock, and now it's just a matter of how it shakes out and who gets to furnish the candidate. Which I'm going to suggest it's going to be the mainstream Democrats will get someone other than Bernie, but I think Bernie will be a big factor in what goes on, because I think he'll gather a lot of delegates. Apparently he's surging, Stevie, in the Super Tuesday prediction. But I think Biden will win South Carolina.
Yeah, it appears that he will, based on all the word and the polling. It looks like he might. Brother Johnny, Coach Ditko is fine. I didn't get him on today because when I'm on location, it's really hard to navigate with everybody hearing each other. And Coach is looking forward to being back on next week. I don't know if you saw the Fighting Illini, but it was a good road victory. Good road victory for Illinois last night, Johnny.
Yes. I'll tell you what, it was Griffin that came through, man. He just went crazy. That was great.
Yeah.
He hit, 24 points? And,
Yeah.
Some key threes at the right time.
Yeah.
But,
no.
And now we have Indiana. How are we looking for Indiana, Stevie?
Well, at home, sellout. We're trying to stripe the State Farm Center and make it orange and blue in stripes, and they'll have their red and white striped pants on. And it'll be a 1:00 tip on Sunday, a sellout. I don't know. There's a lot of momentum. This is the time of year where it's time to make your run and get a good seed and try and get the 2-day bye in the Big Ten tournament, meaning if we're in the top 4 in the conference, then we don't have to play till Friday, and you can win a Big Ten tournament if you only have to play 3 games, but outside of that, it's pretty tough. So that's important, seeding in the NCAA, but just the fact that we're going to be in the tournament is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and playing for the top 4 is also exciting because we haven't been playing for that
No.
lately. But we are in the
No.
top 4 right now. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think we're fourth. But
we're tied for second right now, and this is the best Big Ten record we've had since 2009 so far. So pretty cool. Yeah.
No,
it's
that's
good.
great. I'll tell you, they're a good basketball team. They're fun to watch, and I think obviously we could beat anybody. We have to, just like the name of the game. There's all the fundamentals, but in the end, you have to make the baskets.
Yeah,
and
right.
And that's that's basketball. So
yeah, no, that's right. That's
you
right.
never know. We love our sports, but it's great.
Yeah, all right.
And I got to see the game too, so that was good.
Oh,
I was
good.
back
Yeah.
here in New
Yeah,
Orleans and watched it with Lincoln and Lennox. So they went
between
the game.
Between the lifting couches, we were watching on the phone, so it was good. So in any event, we'll be talking to you, Johnny. We appreciate always your input on Fridays. Thanks. We'll get Coach back online next week, and we'll get us all three together. But thanks for the insights.
Well, Stevie J, great talking to you. Give Gracie a big hug for me, and be careful.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you. That's Johnny in New Orleans this morning, ESPN 93.5. We're going to come back. We'll check your sports headlines next.
PDR is a AAA Chicago Motor Club approved facility right here in central Illinois. They have an esteemed community reputation, a great facility appearance, and amazing customer service. Plus, the staff is trained and qualified, has the most up-to-date equipment working on your vehicle, a wide scope of services, and warranty coverage. Stop into the AAA Chicago Motor Club approved facility, PDR Automotive on North Cunningham and Urbana, or call them at 367-9481.
See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop.
This is your year for impeccable flooring style. Flooring Surfaces brings fresh looks from around the world to Central Illinois. And right now, we're offering deep discounts on all the floors you want. You'll save big on Italian porcelain tile, beautiful hardwood floors, waterproof vinyl, soft and durable carpets, and fantastic backsplash mosaics. If it's in stock, it's on sale now. And with over 1 million square feet of flooring in stock, you'll find the right look to fit your style and budget. Combine excellent selection with free design assistance, free estimates, professional installation service, and financing options. It's easy to see why Flooring Surfaces has your floor covered. See us today at 401 East Mercury Drive in Champaign.
See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surfaces your first stop. Flooring Surfaces your first stop.
Hey, Miss Johnson, what's this you got cooking here on the stove?
Now, Billy, I told you to stay out of that until supper time, you hear me?
But, Miss Johnson, it smells so good, and it's so cold out.
I know it smells good, Billy. It's because it's my famous stew with a great cut of meat from the U of I Meat Sales Room.
If you're looking for the best cuts of meat for stew, soups, or any dish that will keep you warm this winter, head to the U of I Meat Sales Room. The U of I Meat Sales Room on the corner of Maryland and Florida in Urbana.
All right, let's check your sports headlines, Diane Ducey.
All right, go Illini. 74-66 was the final against the Northwestern Wildcats. And as Johnny mentioned, Alan Griffin, 24 points. He was a monster.
Yeah, he was great. He was absolutely great. Illinois is a good basketball team. I know Northwestern's only won one time in the Big Ten, but they've been very competitive, lost some really tough games. Illinois is a good team now. I mean, it's fun because if we play great, we're going to beat anybody, and yet if we shoot 2 out of 18 from 3, we'll lose to anybody. So it's that kind of year, and I think it's a lot. That's the same for about every team now. The parity's amazing in college basketball, in my eye.
And we had Wisconsin over number 19 Michigan, 81-74. Number 23 Ohio State beat Nebraska 75-54. On to the pro courts in NBA where Indiana beat Portland. That final was 106-100. The Pacers are in Cleveland tomorrow and the Bulls are in New York. On to the ice, the Blackhawks over Tampa Bay. That final was 5-2. And St. Louis beat New York in overtime. That final was 3-2. And, of course, we are your Cardinals affiliate here at ESPN 93.5. And the spring preseason is underway, so we have your Redbird recap now.
fall to the Braves yesterday, 3-1 at Cool Today Park in Northport, Florida. And Kyle, you have not stopped talking about the Cardinals pitching. We saw not just Jack Flaherty and Dakota Hudson, but some of the arms out of the bullpen. Junior Fernandez, Cody Whitley standing out yesterday as well.
Yeah, Cody Whitley looked really good. Junior Fernandez looked outstanding. His fastball was explosive. His slider was devastating. You saw a lot of bad swings out of that. Did a great job, came out, and really, I think, caught a lot of attention yesterday.
Dylan Carlson, great as well, as the Cardinals' top prospect, played right field, scored the lone run. Cardinals got the line moving with a couple of outs in the first inning. We've seen a lot of Carlson, a lot of Gorman, a lot of young Cardinal position players here over the last couple of games.
And early on in spring training, that's what you're going to get. There's going to be at-bats for these guys to really show. But, in Dylan Carlson's case, this is a guy that potentially might fit into this opening day roster, and so he's going to get a lot of chances to show what he can do.
Adam Wainwright against the Mets in Port St. Lucie today, 12:10 on Cardinals.com and the MLB app. With Kyle McClellan, I'm Chris Raby on the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network.
Cardinals single-game tickets for the upcoming season are on sale now, and they start at just $5. This year is filled with great matchups, including 2 Cubs weekends, a rare weekend series with the Yankees, interleague play against the Royals. The promotion schedule is packed with jerseys, bobbleheads, T-shirts, and a new purse. There's something for everyone in the 2020 season. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com. St. Louis Cardinals, time to fly.
St. Louis Cardinals, National League Central Division champions.
Norm Miller here, chairman of Interstate Batteries. Without batteries, life would be pretty lifeless. That's why Interstate All Battery Centers carry them in every size, shape, and style, so you can drive, drill, call, film, or do whatever it is you want to do. Stop in today. They've got the power to keep you going. Interstate All Battery Center. Outrageously dependable.
Interstate All Battery Center. You'll find them outrageously dependable just over Interstate 74 at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign, with batteries for most every application in stock.
If you're looking for a great paying part-time job with flexible hours, check out 2020 Census Jobs. You may have another job or not. You may even be retired or looking for some extra income, but you can also help make sure that everyone gets counted. So apply today at 2020census.gov/jobs to help strengthen your community.
Here's your ESPN 93.5 3-day forecast from the National Weather Service.
Stevie, we've got some clouds here in East Central Illinois, some morning snow showers. Today's high right around the freezing point and down to 16 this evening. Make way for sunshine for Leap Day tomorrow. We've got a high 38, low 30, and some clouds on Sunday and a high 55. 50 on Monday with some rain in the forecast. 53 on Tuesday. It's a great start to March, so I know we got kind of a wintry day today, but we've got some great weather on the horizon, and we're at 24 now on ESPN 93.5.
And 23 in Dayton, Ohio. I think Dayton and Champaign are pretty identical, except Champaign gets the weather about a day before Dayton does. It's just straight to the east. We took 74, around 465, 65 south to 70 into Dayton. And, I was mentioning Amina Boza, Benjamin Harrison Museum, and I knew Benjamin Harrison was our 23rd president, grandson apparently of William Henry Harrison. I thought it was a nephew, but Mina, who's chair of presidential studies, would know more than me. But he was a president way back when, and she said he was the first guy to actually win the electoral vote, while the other guy, Grover Cleveland, got the popular vote. Grover Cleveland was the 22nd president, and then Benjamin Henry Harrison, and then Grover Cleveland. He won twice, non-consecutive terms, and it was also before term limits. And Franklin Roosevelt was the last president we had from 1932 to 44. When he died in office, he was the last guy. And then after that, they said, you know what? 8 years is long enough. Maybe that'll happen with our Senate and our Congress. We can say 8, 10, 12 years is long enough. I love term limits. I think it's healthy, just like it's probably not healthy to have, any president forever. I feel the same about Congress. I think Senate and House ought to, go out, serve their country, come back and get the job back. This career stuff I don't think's worked out for us very well, but good luck changing it, because the people that have to change it are the people we would eliminate from office. I think you could grandfather it in, say when you're done, next guy, not you, next guy, so you can maintain your power and big limousine rides if you'd like. But there's a lot of unhappy people about the way of politics, for sure. Markets are of concern, mostly because of coronavirus. And again, I don't know if we know. I know that it's very difficult to really understand this, and I know that there are people that have interests and they can sincerely have these critical worries, but there have been people with Ebola and SARS and all these other things that have hit us saying, this is bad, it's going to be tens of thousands of people, and it hasn't been. And yet, are they doing that because that's what they believe, or do they want more funding? I mean, you always have to think about, there are some with ulterior motives, certainly. And, I think while I am probably, I even hate to mention this, I don't know about climate change, and I know that I might be ill-informed according to the very intelligent, but if I have questions about climate change, I'm deemed ignorant. And I think it's that positioning of, you're an idiot, is what turns me off of the whole issue. I'm all for green, I'm all for clean, I'm all for better, let's go for it. But you can't simply shut off oil and have a working world as we know it now. But if you want to do it all with green and solar, I'm all in. I think it's fabulous. But there's just that, attitude of, give me the money, I'll show you with my funding. And there's a lot of that. And so with the coronavirus, I respect everybody who says this is the absolute plague, and I don't think anybody knows. But it's very easy to panic because more are getting it. Is it worse than the flu? It appears to be, but I don't think there's enough hard data because you don't know exactly what China's doing. We have no idea. Maybe it's worse than they're saying, and maybe it's a lot better than they're saying. It's just that panic isn't going to help anything. And to just say we're not going out of our house forever is not the way we do that. But if it is like the flu, then it is very natural. It feels like the flu, which it does apparently. It's very natural to hear all these new stories but imagine if we all did that when we heard about another 10 people that caught the flu this winter. I mean, I think we've had 15, 20,000 deaths this winter in America with the flu, 15 to 20,000 people.
Wow.
And yet we kind of have our arms around the flu. Mostly we won't die if we don't have pre-existing or we're not super old. Then we probably will survive a flu, but a flu's awful. And folks that have had it know they're down for 7 days. But the number one thing we can all do is get a thermometer. Get the one you touch your forehead with. Whatever you get, don't go to school. Don't go to work if you're running a fever. That's fair. Just stay home. That's when you spread it. If you're at 101, you don't go to work. There's nobody that's tough. We'll figure it out. Nobody wants you in there if you're sick because that's how it spreads. So if you're able to, and I understand the dynamic of kids, parents got to work, single parent household, whatever the situation, or 2-parent household, whatever it is. You got work, you got to fly, you leave traveling, you can't, kids not feeling good, it's okay, get them in there. We do that all the time. And it's understandable because we all have lived in life and we're busy and they'll be fine. I mean, take the temperature. And they can't go if they're sick. If they can't go, if they're, 100 degrees, 101, you can't send them. Anyway, that's the best advice. Wash your hands, live your life. Try not to be bogged down by worry because worry is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy, but gets you nowhere.
That's right.
So there's no point in wringing our hands. We wash our hands. We make common sense decisions and just live. I wouldn't go to China right now. I wouldn't go to Wuhan. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't get in there. But yeah, I understand that. I'd feel very apprehensive if I made any general trip to China right now. I wouldn't probably do that, even though I probably wouldn't catch anything. But remember I talked to Johnny about the oil spill, and it was in the Gulf of Mexico, and every day it was a 24/7 loop of all that oil spewing out. Did you see the pipe and all that oil spewing out? And then we got pictures of the dock covered in oil and the evil oil and gas. That went on for months. Johnny did the calculation, and he said it was about 5 square miles were affected because the depth of the Gulf and all these other things. He said he told me when it was headlines on everywhere, every day, he said, this is going to be okay. It looks really bad, but it's not going to be bad. And so, yes, we lost a little wildlife, which is awful, but we can't panic, my friends. Okay, news is coming up. More in our 8 o'clock hour. I'm live in Dayton this morning, ESPN 93.5. Thank you, Diane. We'll be right back.
All right. Another shout out to Ben Quattrone and the gang for attending that Go Red for Women event yesterday at the Champaign Country Club and handing everybody a free oil change and car wash good through the end of the month. Honda BMW right over by Thornton's in Savoy off Burwash, and it is a great location in case you'd like to take a test drive. Supporting the American Heart Association last night. Good stuff with ESPN 93.5. Your news is up next.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Happened in the last hour at the House. Democrats have said the White House isn't doing enough or asking for enough funding. Vice President Pence, who's in charge of the response, told Fox,
keep the politics out of this. Follow the facts, follow the science, and work the problem.
There are 60 confirmed cases in the U.S. One in California is a patient who didn't travel or have known contact with anyone sick with the virus, though she's in a county where Americans were flown back from China and that infected cruise ship in Japan. A whistleblower has a complaint about those flights.
Health and Human Services sent employees to evaluate hundreds of Americans rescued from China without the proper protective gear. The department says it is looking into this complaint. It says it takes it very seriously.
Fox's Aisha Hosni, there are more than 83,000 corona cases around the world. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, the list of countries with cases of the new coronavirus growing again. New Zealand, Azerbaijan and Nigeria among the latest places to report infections. Major outbreaks in South Korea, Iran and Italy are all still growing. Italy's neighbour, Switzerland, now banning any events involving more than 1,000 people. A region of Japan has declared a state of emergency today, and the president of Mongolia has been placed in quarantine, according to state media, after he visited China. Dave?
Simon, stocks may be out to fall again. Dow futures down about 400 the morning after the biggest point drop ever. The market is on pace for the worst week since the 2008 financial crisis. There's one last day to campaign before the South Carolina presidential primary. Joe Biden leads the polls there. Bernie Sanders leads a new Fox national poll of Democrats with 31%, 13 points ahead of Biden.
Reason we are going to defeat Trump is the American people do not like frauds.
Sanders rallied in Virginia, one of the 14 Super Tuesday states next week. President Trump will hold a rally in South Carolina tonight. America's listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What gives one company the edge over another? Maybe it's not one thing. Maybe it's taking care of lots of things that help a business run smoothly. In other words, Cintas. Cintas has products that help your people stay safe and apparel programs that convey the right image. They service fire protection equipment, deliver and stock restroom supplies, and make sure facilities are clean and ready. Because when all those things work together, you're in business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
There's fresh worry about the fighting in Syria. The day after an airstrike from Russian-backed Syrian forces killed 33 Turkish troops. NATO's leader Jens Stoltenberg calling on Russia and Syria to halt those airstrikes.
NATO continues to support Turkey with a range of measures, including by augmenting its air defenses. This helps Turkey against the threat of missile attacks from Syria.
The European Union's warning this could degenerate into open war, and Turkey's also indicated it might let migrants from Syria and elsewhere leave that country and spill into Europe, prompting Greece and Bulgaria to bolster border security. Texas is getting a new death row inmate, a man who murdered a police officer in 2018, sentenced to die. He said he shot at cops because he wanted to. A man in Mississippi got 4 death sentences for 8 murders in 2017 that he blamed on the devil making him do it. The Miller Brewery remains closed in Milwaukee 2 days after a shooting spree, man targeting his co-workers.
Neighbors describe Anthony Farrell as nice, helpful, quiet, and nonviolent. He also enjoyed building guns from mail-order parts. But there were signs suggesting a troubled mind long before authorities say Farrell killed 5 co-workers and himself at the Molson Coors Brewing Company. Several years ago, Farrell suffered a shoulder injury on the job, forcing him to miss work. According to a neighbor, the 51-year-old electrician told her that spies from the brewery were watching him to make sure he wasn't faking the injury. The neighbor says Farrell also pointed out the spy's car to her. Police searched Farrell's home for clues Thursday, but his motive remains a mystery. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
There is news on the economy amid all the corona fears. Consumer spending rose 0.2% last month, but that is half the increase we saw in December. On the other side of the coin, Americans' incomes rose 0.6%. That's the biggest jump in nearly a year. But again, stocks may drop. Futures are down big. Oil is also down big again. It's dropping almost 4%, now around $45 a barrel. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. I'm Jamie Monticelli with your ESPN 93.5 local news update. 12 years in prison is a sentence for a Gifford man who robbed a woman at gunpoint while she worked in a restaurant. 46-year-old Chad Billings pleaded guilty to aggravated robbery. He pointed a BB gun at the employee of the Homestead Restaurant and Bar on Main Street in Gifford and demanded cash from the business. The woman had just come out of the bathroom. He got away with about $1,100. A bill being proposed in Illinois would require Illinois public and charter schools to teach kindergarten through 12th grade students, quote, inclusive, medically accurate, and culturally appropriate comprehensive sex education. The curriculum is not currently mandated. TheTelegraph.com says the program would include information that children and young people need to prevent bullying, foster healthy relationships, and prevent abuse or violence. Districts would be required to inform parents about the planned classes at the beginning of each school year, and parents could opt their children out of the lessons. You're up to date. I'm Jamie Monticelli.
You had a dream of opening your business, and you took a risk to build it. At Busey, we understand your goals and dreams continue to evolve as you position your business for growth, look towards retirement, and plan for future generations. Achieve your dreams. Busey is here to help. Visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations for solutions to your banking and wealth management needs. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Talking with Ron Bailey, owner of the Blossom Basket Florist. Ron, what separates your flowers from some you might find at the grocery store?
Our flowers are usually about 3 days out of the field in South America. When we get them in with their cold storage all the way here, we guarantee the quality on them. They should last a long time. I have customers call me all the time and say that our flowers lasted 2 weeks. We process them, put preservatives in the water. We have the highest quality flowers that you can find.
Please visit the Blossom Basket Florist online at blossombasket.com. Hey, it's Stevie J. Like many, I knew all about Game Day Spirits Illini gear, but I wasn't so knowledgeable about the corporate apparel they do. Well, they do really great work. I've had some shirts done, and some of my employees have too. They're very high quality and perfect for your business or organization. If you need something in the summer, need something in the winter, Game Day Spirit does custom screen printing and embroidery for every season or style. From blue collar to the boardroom, they have you covered with corporate apparel. Get a quote. Email sales@gamedayspirit.com and you'll be pleased. Here's your ESPN 93.5 3-day forecast from the National Weather Service. Diane, do you see?
Looking good, Stevie. It's morning snow showers, and we do have some light flurries out there right now, but no accumulation, just a dusting, if that. Today's high right around the freezing point and 16 our low tonight. Better and better as we progress. Leap day tomorrow, sunshine and a high 40, low 30. I know a lot of folks like that Read Across America event that happens at Lincoln Square. Totally free between 10 and 1 tomorrow. As we bring in a March on Sunday, we've got a high 55 expected, 44 our low in the evening, maybe some rain late and coming into Monday's forecast. Right now the temperature is at 25 on ESPN 93.5 at 8:08.
All right, Jim Mayer in studio with us. Jim, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing really well.
How's that melodious voice of yours?
Well, you know, it's starting to warm up. I'm not used to early morning conversations like you are.
Well, it's great having you in. Tell people what you got going on.
Okay, so 1 month from today, on March the 28th, we have the Disability Resource Expo at the Vineyard Church in Urbana from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. A ton of exhibitors, over 100 exhibitors there. We'll have children's activities, games, entertainment, presentations, just all kinds of great things that day for folks to come out and experience.
You know, Jim, this has been a great place for it. Vineyard Church right off I-74 and Lincoln Avenue. And there's different areas where you can explore and get different resources. It's such a huge event. How long have you been doing this?
This is our 13th annual. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And I know one year you kind of spotlighted the therapy animals and things like that. And my son Aiden loves that. CU Autism Network was there, and he kind of worked over by that booth. Talk about some of the theme or whatever for this year.
Right. So every year we have sort of a scavenger hunt for our younger participants, for the children, to go and explore the exhibit halls and also learn something about disability awareness and disability issues. So this year it's the movers and shakers game, and so we're going to have 9 different displays kind of hidden throughout the exhibit hall that feature some local folks with disabilities who are really very significant to our community, who have been leaders and who have, done advocacy and all kinds of cool things. So that's one cool feature. And then we have some new exhibitors. Every year we have new exhibitors.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I love that Vineyard Church in that cafeteria area is kind of a place where performances can happen. And I know last year there was a therapy dog, and just seeing that dog in action was wonderful.
Yeah, and this year we have a choir called the Choral Union that features some folks with disabilities as well as other members. And then we also are featuring a woman who does music therapy, and she's going to do kind of a audience participation session of music therapy from the stage. And then one other new feature this year, we have booked another area of the vineyard, sort of a classroom area, to have presentations on some specific topics that are of interest to folks.
So say I'm interested in attending some of these different seminars and these breakout sessions of a portion of the expo and off to the side. And I love, by the way, that there's kind of quiet areas, too, for folks who are like sensory overload, too. Of course, you would think of that with the disabilityresourceexpo.org. Is that the place where we should visit in case we'd like more information on some of these seminars?
Exactly. And as we approach the date, we'll have everything posted on there. We'll have a map of the exhibit hall. We'll have descriptions of the various exhibitors that will be there. But for right now, folks can go on and see last year's information and get an idea of what should be there.
Awesome. Disability Resource Expo, reaching out for answers, and we're saving the date once again, time and place.
March 28th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Vineyard Church in Urbana.
He's awesome as the music man, Stevie. I know your brother played that role, didn't he?
Yeah. Johnny played Harold Hill back in the day. Jim's a talented guy. Jim, when you say accessibility, doesn't Champaign come to number 1 in most of the world now? I mean, we're really good at curb cuts and all the things we've done since the 70s to help those with needs feel welcome.
Right, and it just keeps building, Stevie. That's what we started with some of the physical accessibility things, but now, we've moved on to other aspects of accessibility. For example, a lot of the plays now presented at Cranard are done with closed captioning, so that folks with hearing impairment can better participate, which is, really a cool trend. And we have a new exhibitor this year called Access Urbana-Champaign, and what they've done, it's a group from the U of I that have gone around and done accessibility surveys at restaurants, and then they've posted it on their website so people can look and see which restaurants are the most physically accessible for folks with disabilities.
Wonderful. Well, now, I know on the U of I campus, of course, they're right on top of things, just like Stevie alluded to, but that MCOR project, my brother runs Deuce Construction, and they got a grant and worked with MTD so that the wheelchairs and things like that can go right off the curb, right into the bus, and the bus doesn't have to, have any time delays with the hydraulics and things like that. It is right around the Illini Union is where we can really appreciate that mobility. So good stuff for our community. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.
Well, Jim, keep up your good work. We'll see you in a month. I hope it goes really well. I hope everybody goes out there. There's so many resources and so many things you need to know about. What you guys are doing is awesome.
Thank you so much, Stevie.
Saturday.
Always a pleasure.
No problem. Saturday, March 28th at Vineyard Church. Again, disabilityresourceexpo.org for details. We've got some sports coming up next. Kelly's Accounting is bringing on our Tax Minute, and they are awesome in Monticello. They do Mike and I's taxes. KellysAccounting.com if you need some assistance.
Independent contractors. I'm Ginny Cosola with your Fox Business Network tax tip. After this,
Kelly's Accounting does all tax types, individual, corporate, trust, partnerships, and estate, plus payroll and bookkeeping services. Your guardian angel in the finance department. Call their Monticello office, 762-5509, or visit kellysaccounting.com.
Do you receive a W-2 or a 1099, which means independent contractor? Employers need to know the difference.
It's very important to make sure that you are classifying your workers correctly, since misclassification can result in costly financial penalties.
CPA Dan Geltrude, managing partner at Geltrude & Company.
If you are found to have misclassified employees as independent contractors, you will likely have to repay all of those taxes and benefits that you weren't paying for before.
Independent contractors really need to be independent in what they do. It's the amount of control over the worker. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Get a quote at 217-356-2400.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
Want to try the best coffee in Illinois? Clever Moose is now brewing Big Shoulders Coffee, awarded Best Coffee in Illinois 2019 by Food and Wine Magazine. This full-bodied, exclusive drip coffee blend, Bold Slugger, is rich and full of chocolatey sweetness. The new creamy, perfectly balanced Espresso Lake Street is a smart blend of Brazilian, Ethiopian, and Ugandan beans with subtle fruity notes. The only downstate brewer of Big Shoulders Coffee is Clever Moose, located inside Logic at the corner of Neal Street and Fox Drive.
Let's check your sports headlines and the good news from the Evanston, Illinois Northwestern basketball game.
It was awesome.
I have not been able to find coffee.
That explains a lot.
Stand by. Here we go with our great news. Illinois now 11-6 in the Big Ten. Big basketball win last night.
Yes, 74-66 was the final over the Northwestern Wildcats, and Alan Griffin was awesome with a career-high 24 points yesterday. Wisconsin over number 19. Michigan was an upset, 81-74. Number 23, Ohio State beat Nebraska. That final 75-54. We are gearing up for Sunday, March 1st at 1. And odd sections wearing orange. You got to look at the section of your ticket to wear orange, because I'll be walking the halls with my baton stick and saying, all right, there's a blue one. All right, you're over there. We're going to take a picture in 3 minutes, so let's get it right.
You think she's joking, don't you?
I'm sorry. I just can't help it.
She's not joking. She's going to make you move. Hey, get up. You move over.
And like I said, it goes back to when my kids were in choir, and the choir director said over and over again, wear black and white for the show. But yeah, there's little, Lily wearing red, and
Why don't you just pick on the little kid who didn't have it, okay? Why don't you do that?
No, I just quietly took her aside and said, I brought this outfit. Let's see if it fits.
Unbelievable.
So you blend right in. And I tried to do it so she wasn't, but she wanted to blend in. She didn't want to be the only red kid.
Gotcha.
It's all good, but it is a thing with me. It's kind of like the theater mom comes out of me.
It's not gonna work out as well as you're thinking, but I think you'll see semblances of a stripe, but it's just not gonna happen because you can't get the masses to cooperate on something that's kind of new.
Well, and people are coming to see our Illini in action. That representation in Evanston was proof of that yesterday.
Yeah.
Terrific. So let's see. We should move on to the NBA, where we had the Pacers beating Portland's Trailblazers 106-100. They've got Cleveland tomorrow. Bulls are in New York tomorrow. And on to the ice, where the Blackhawks beat Tampa Bay 5-2. And St. Louis over New York 3-2 in overtime. So I do see Kent lingering, which is awesome for after our Fox Business Minute. So we've got more details about our Illini on the way, Stevie.
Yeah, okay. That'll be good. And then Honda BMW, I want to talk about them for a bit. I'm going to give you a chance to win $200, to earn $200. If you are a person looking for a vehicle and can take a qualified test drive, and I'll explain what that means, If you are interested, then stand by for a possible $200 test drive for you to get $200 from me on our Stevie deal this morning. I'll talk about it in just a few moments. If you want to take our peek at weather, again, it's cold, but boy, getting nice in the next few days. So don't mess with all the preparing of your, you do go to CMIClean.com. You can get all your ice melt, because today, if you're a business, you need ice melt. You can go pick up a 50-pound box, and then that stuff works great. Ice melt from your janitorial supply company, CMI at CMIClean.com. But it's going to melt, Diane.
That's right. Morning snow showers in the forecast. High 31, low 16. 38 with sunshine tomorrow, down to 30. And up to 56 with partly cloudy conditions to start on Sunday, then down to 44 in the evening. Currently 26, feels like 18. ESPN 93.5.
Okay, brace for impact. Market's going down big again. You don't lose anything if you don't sell. Okay, everybody, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are pointing to more selling with continued uncertainty about the economic impact of the coronavirus. The major averages are now in correction, which means at least 10% off their highs. Those records happened just this month. Americans were making more money in January, but we're not spending all of that increase. Personal income rose 0.6% last month. However, personal spending rose just 0.2%. Another reading indicates inflation remained tame in January. Discount chain Big Lots says it is having issues getting products to sell. It's reporting supply chain disruptions because of the coronavirus. Foot Locker's holiday quarter was disappointing. Its earnings were stronger than a year ago. Total sales in the quarter declined, though. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Lara Logan is back, and she's exclusively on Fox Nation with an unflinching look at the border crisis.
What I care about is one thing: the truth.
And she's taking on the mainstream media, tackling the issues that matter to America, one story at a time.
This is me at my core.
No bias, no nonsense. Lara Logan has no agenda. The must-see docuseries is available now, only on Fox Nation. Start your free trial at foxnation.com.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Finding your way to retirement may feel a bit like working your way through a maze. Without a guide, it's hard to see if you're headed in the right direction. We can offer guidance along the way to help you see the big picture and make good financial decisions. Contact us today at 3017 Village Office Place in Champaign, or call 217-366-3456, or online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
When your car breaks down, you realize just how much you need it. And when it breaks down, Beaumont Alignment Plus steps up. For routine maintenance like brakes, oil changes, tune-ups, batteries, and tires, you can count on Beaumont Alignment Plus. Bigger issues, including alignment, suspension work, starters, alternators, transmission, requires specialists. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Dennison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. It's good to know that quality service is still affordable at Beaumont Alignment Plus.
Hi, I'm Habib, inviting you to the Kindness Seminar. There's not enough kindness in the world, so we're hosting international author and expert Olivia McIver for an interactive 4-hour session that will give a greater understanding of how unkindness impacts our employees and customers, how your workplace can benefit from kindness strategies, and how to implement kindness in your workplace to increase profits. Tuesday, March 17th at the iHotel. For tickets and more information, go to HabibHabib.com.
Stevie J Travel presents Her Honor Jane Byrne, showing in Chicago at the Looking Glass Theater. Your day begins with shopping at Water Tower with lunch on your own. Then see the show Her Honor Jane Byrne. In 1981, Chicago's simmering pot of neglected problems boils over, and Chicago's first woman mayor is moving into Cabrini Green, and the raw truths are exposed. Join us April 4th for our one-day trip to Chicago. Tickets for the entire day are just $169 and will sell out. Go to StevieJTravel.com to book your spot. Where do you want to go?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to present Kent Brown as he has stopped by our studios once again. We appreciate you, Kent, and that was pretty fun. You had to have a pretty late night last night.
Well, I was just telling Diane, I didn't go to Evanston last night. Derek on my staff were up there, and
and handled things from our end. And but man, they told me there was about 70% orange and blue in the crowd instead of purple. So they did pretty well. The Illini fans.
I saw the tweet from our athletic director. I couldn't believe how much orange. Well, that's a sign of a incredible leader when you can trust others to do what you've done. That's pretty dang good, because it's not any good if you can't get any other guys to do what you do. So good leadership there, fella. Okay, so tell Diane that it's not going to be perfect on the stripe on Sunday. We're going to do our best, but she can't go policing.
She can't go policing. Come on. But it's interesting. We were talking about this the other day. Our fans have really kind of gotten back into the all wearing orange, right? I mean, our fandom does a great job with wearing orange.
Yeah.
But now they're going to have to think about this a little bit, about the even sections wearing blue. And man, that's that's asking a lot. So our fans will show. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun thing. That'll be cool.
Exactly.
For TV
and
on
Kent
Sunday.
said game day will be there, and I'm sure they have a variety of orange and blue and repertoire, so it'll be fine.
Yeah. No, it's a great thing. And you know what, Ken? It's going to be one of those days, and you know what that means when there's electricity in the air. It's going to be like that for Indiana Sunday. It's going to be like that for Iowa big time in a week. So this is fun. It was not fun for me for the last 6 years because I could care less about the silly March Madness. Mm-hmm. Now I care a lot.
Yeah, all of a sudden, with the game being on March 1st, it's kind of, I was like, man, we are still in part of the discussion here, and we're into March. I love it.
Yeah.
Indiana, Illinois, always a big rivalry. There's so many fans who, close to each. This is a close. The two schools are, and people carry crossover, and people from here go over to Indiana, and people from Indiana come over here when they've got friends at each place, and it just brings a lot of excitement to the arena. And Sunday at 1:00, it's kind of the middle of the day, and everybody should be. It's supposed to be a beautiful day on Sunday, and so that adds to it as well. So. Really looking forward to it. I know our fans are going to show up, and it's sold out, obviously, but they're going to show up and be ready to go.
You know, when we go, we generally try and get there a little bit early because, there's a little security. It's not a lot of security, but the lines can form. If you say, I'm going to duck in there at 1:45, you're going to be in for a late seating because I see a lot of people coming in late because they don't plan for that.
Yeah. I think most of our fans, by now have gone through the clear bag policy and understand that. But folks who don't come often kind of forget about that. And then, there is the thing you have to walk through, the security scanner and so that takes a little bit more time. So, we always encourage people to get in early. We got stuff going on. The video board's up and running. There's music. The teams are warming up. There's a lot of activity going on inside the arena. So you can get there early and get seated and be ready to go because it will be good. It will be good on Sunday.
What's your take on some of the buzz out there about this basketball team? Because guys like Robbie Hummel, or if he saw the second half of the Purdue game, I could see what he's saying, but he thinks we could be one of the dark horses to make a long, deep run and have the potential to win it all. And we have a team that if we play like the second half of a Purdue game, you can beat anybody. And yet the margin of error is so slight in college basketball. If you have an off shooting night, then you're probably done. But that's what's fun, is that we actually do have a team that rebounds and plays good defense. We could do some things.
Well, us, and there's a lot of teams like that as well. We do have some things that a lot of people don't have, and Kofi Coburn certainly does. We have a superstar guy who can carry a little bit in Io as well, and then when Alan Griffin comes through and plays shoots like that, I mean, my gosh, he was just on fire last night. But Stevie, you and I have both been around for a long, long time. And I hate to bring back bad memories, but back in the late 80s, man, we had a couple of teams, and we had just smoked Indiana at the end of the season in 1987 and went in with a team that we thought we could make a run. And what happened? We lost the very first game of the tournament. And so it's all about matchups. I mean, that was one time and a long time ago, but it's all about matchups. And hopefully you bring your best game at the tournament because everybody's going to be good. And I think this year, as much as any, there is such a balance across the country. There's no dominant teams that there's going to be a lot of really good, tight games, and I would expect it. And Illinois plays great defense. Our guys have bought into that. They know that's kind of what got us here. And if the other team can't score, we can overcome an average shooting night.
How dare you mention Austin Peay on my show, sir?
I didn't say the words. You know, I brought it up.
I went to bed. I went to bed that night thinking, we lost to Austin Peay.
Yeah. Well, you and I both were around to see it. We both know.
Hey, but yeah, I think maybe it was the next year, and I was in California. I came home. I had put the videotape in. I was going to watch it at 1 a.m. My brother called and said, you can't watch it. You'll be alone at 2:30 in the morning with no one to talk to. It was after we lost, I think, the Villanova with a bunch of missed 1-on-1s.
Yeah.
So listen, stuff happens. I understand it. Exciting part is that we're in the talk. People know us. I feel like we're kind of back with a team that really can beat anybody on a given night. We can lose, I understand, but we got a good basketball team.
Got a good basketball team that's going to compete, and we can match up with a lot of teams. And we're going to get Georgie back on track a little bit here and some things.
Yeah, but I tell you, though, if he gets some baskets and gets confidence, he'll be unstoppable. So I really hope he's a great kid. Listen, I really appreciate you always coming by, bub.
Hey, Stevie, enjoy. I hope you go to the Pine Club while you're in Dayton.
Well, we're coming back tomorrow. I don't know. I'll learn about that Pine Club as we go, for sure.
All right. Have a safe trip and go Illini.
Thanks, buddy. Go Illini.
ILL.
I.
This time I'll take it. All right. ESPN 93.5, Kent Brown, thank you so much for coming in. And I know you'll figure out which section you belong in, whether it's O for orange and blue in the even section. So make sure you pay attention on Sunday, Kent. All right, ESPN 93.5. We've got your Fox News here at 8:30.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. There's more selling at the open on Wall Street on coronavirus worries. The Dow's down about 750 points right now following global market south. In Washington, both sides calling for unity but accusing the other of playing politics.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says much of the effort will go towards developing an affordable vaccine.
Lives are at stake. This is not a time for name-calling.
Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, who's a doctor, says some of the money will be spent on face masks, and he says healthcare workers should get first dibs.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. Ahead of the Democratic primary in South Carolina tomorrow, President Trump is gearing up for a rally in North Charleston, South Carolina.
There is at least 1,000, maybe more people already turn out for Trump's rally tonight at 7 o'clock. And a lot of people also talking about their Democrat race here. Biden, of course, widening that lead.
Fox's Griff Jenkins, America's listening to Fox News.
Good morning. I'm Jamie Monticelli with your ESPN 93.5 local news update. Authorities have made a second arrest in connection to a March 23, 2018 homicide investigation. That morning, police went out to the 100 block of Apricot Drive for a report of shots being heard. Police found 18-year-old Ricky Green of Urbana, who had been shot. He later died at an area hospital. Last month, the Champaign County State's Attorney's Office got a warrant for 22-year-old Michael Simmons for murder. Yesterday, the U.S. Marshals Service, with help from the Champaign County Street Crimes Task Force, arrested Simmons without incident. Earlier this month, 20-year-old Michael Chapman was also arrested for murder in the case. Champaign police arrested a 38-year-old Champaign man for allegedly shooting 3 men in a car last fall. The charges stem from a November 21st incident. Gregory Sappington had been wanted for aggravated battery with a firearm with armed robbery. The shooting happened in the driveway of a home in the 600 block of Alabama Avenue. You're up to date. I'm Jamie Monticelli.
Are you at your best when the whistle blows? With Carl Sports Medicine, you can jump higher, run faster, and be on your game every time. Take advantage of our professional athletic training services, plus injury prevention and free sports medicine walk-in clinics with injury experts. Get ready to reach your personal best. Visit carl.org/sportsmedicine or call 217-383-9400. Carl, official medical provider of Fighting Illini Athletics.
If you want a great steak, why don't you go up to Gifford? There's a restaurant there. It's been there a long time called the Long Branch Steakhouse. I want you to go in there and find Donnie. He'll be cooking and preparing all your food. And then may I suggest the beautiful prime rib. Now, Donnie cuts it right off the side of beef when you order it. This is awesome, awesome meat. And you're going to love a steak from the Long Branch Steakhouse. Go say hey to Donnie. Tell him I sent you, Stevie J. And get up there as soon as you can. You're going to love it. Long Branch Steakhouse, Gifford, Illinois.
I was so frustrated. My laundry set just died, and I didn't have time to go all over town shopping. Between working and getting the kids to practice, I had to do it all online. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is where I purchased before, so I went there, appliance-world.com. Instantly, I got a response. I purchased a Maytag washer and dryer, had it shipped right away, and got their free 10-year protection plan. Really was easy. I dealt with a Dick Van Dyke sales associate right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I'm Dennis Reekin, owner of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. This is a true online story in the Champaign-Urbana area within the past month. Tired of hearing,
shipping is going to cost you a ton, buddy.
Or, that'd be 3 or 4 weeks at least. When shopping online, Dick Van Dyke has made online business local and easy. I guarantee the best deal, whether online or in store, on your next appliance purchase. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Here is your ESPN 93.5 3-day forecast, National Weather Service.
All right, at 8:34, we're looking cloudy, a few flurries here and there. Today's high right around the freezing point. We're currently at 26, 16, our low tonight. We've got a high 38 tomorrow, down to 30 with sunshine. 56 the high on Sunday as we bring in March, down to around 44. Chance of showers late and a wet start to our week on Monday, but still, we've got the 50s throughout the week, or just right around 50 anyway. Again, we're at 26 on ESPN 93.5. And Stevie, I wanted to get to a couple of things. I haven't been able to text you what's going on here, but I know Dave Miller in Champaign, who won our Girl Scout cookie party yesterday from Horizon Hobby, said, thank you so much. The cookies were at my desk this morning when I arrived, and my team is attacking them to provide energy for the day. So thanks to you and the Girl Scouts of Central Illinois, as he had texted in to 359-2255 to get that Girl Scout cookie party from us yesterday.
Well, yeah, I bought a few boxes, and they disappeared quickly, too, until I jumped on and grabbed and hugged them and said mine. Anyway, no, they're really, really good cookies. They really, really are. And we hope people support the Girl Scouts. And you're going, man, the boxes got smaller. So what? You're helping the Girl Scouts.
That's right.
And plus, we don't need that many calories anyway. And it's just a donation, and you get something for it, like a Samoa. Ooh, and the Thin Mints, they used to pop like popcorn back in the day.
Exactly. So we do. Wanted to tell you about Honda BMW and actually read this card that was handed to me at the valet parking station at the Champaign Country Club yesterday after the Heart Association's Go Red for Women event for this free oil change and car wash that's good till the end of the month. And it says you can also purchase or lease a new Honda BMW, and we'll donate $500 to the American Heart Association as long as you take care of business before the end of March. Purchasing a new BMW includes free car washes on demand, concierge services, pickup and delivery, and again, it expires till the end of the month. But it goes into detail on the other side how Honda BMW has maintained the solid commitment to their clients, and they offer a wide selection of vehicles, and how they really stand behind you. Even if you have bad credit or are a first-time buyer, you can trust Honda BMW to get in the automobile of your choice. Oftentimes, their service department is open extended hours. They know customers have busy schedules. They provide competitive pricing for all of your automotive maintenance needs. And so call 888-349-1974 if you have any questions. 100 Burwash in Savoy. Yes.
Yeah, it's an awesome place, and I don't know if people know that, but when you do buy that BMW, I mean, you can say, hey, I'm at work. They'll come get the BMW, take it, leave you a car, and bring it back. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you're getting from BMW. Now, if you want to do a test drive, that's our Stever of the morning. If you want to go and take a test drive, but you have to be legit here, and we ask some questions just to make sure, because I'll give you $200. That's how pretty sure I am that you're going to at least say, yeah, they're pretty good. There's no pressure. The guys know their vehicles very well. If you want to test drive a Honda or BMW, and you're a qualified test driver, meaning you have insurance in your own name, you have the capabilities to purchase a vehicle, and they'll ask you a few questions when you get there. I generally make the call to see, hey, tell me what's going on. I know I sent 2 over there yesterday. people that are seriously interested. And then I send you over there, and you don't have to buy it, but I want you to experience it. And after you test drive and fill out your feedback, you get $200. So if you're in the market and you've never been to Honda BMW, I want you to go. So text in Honda, Honda, if you are interested, or BMW, whatever you'd like, doesn't matter. Just text me that you're interested, and we'll reach out to you a bit later. 359-2255 is our text. 359-2255. I think I'm picking up a CRV Monday or Tuesday. Grace is going to be driving a CRV over here, so I need another CRV.
Man, it's such a great car.
Great car. I like sitting up a little higher these days. And it is great. The guys really take care of me, but they don't just take care of me. They take care of everybody. I've seen some of their service, and it's just the same. It's just good for everybody. And they got a guy named Brian Dowd, and he can detail your car like you've never had it detailed. I don't think forensics could have found a dog hair in my car, which is stunning. He said, I said, Brian, I don't think, he said, yeah, they could. No, I don't think, it's unbelievable. It took them 4.5 hours. I mean, that's the detail that they're interested in. So if you want to make your car feel new, look new.
And run better when it's that clean.
It seems to be true. Brian Dowd is the guy's name, and he's terrific. Ben Quattrone hired him from another dealer, and he's fantastic. So there's a lot of reasons to go in. And they're very community-oriented, as Diane mentioned at the Heart luncheon. So if you want to go to Honda BMW and test drive for $200, that's our Stever. Keep in mind that you have to get something set up within the next week. You have to give me some feedback and test drive the vehicle and be a qualified test driver. But text in Honda or BMW, either one, 359-2255, 359-2255, and we will reach out a bit later. Okay, don't forget, GoStever.com, where you spend Stevie J's money and keep the stuff. Tuesday, we'll be online. You'll want to register. Jet's Pizza's on the map, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be giving you a chance to experience Jet's Pizza. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Country Square Cleaners also coming in March. We have some other March people. See you under construction. I will take care of the home inspection protection plan. That's a $250 value from See You Under Construction. Some great things coming, but you need to get registered. Jet's Pizza's out of the gate for March on Tuesday. 359-2255 is where you'll text us for the text contest, but there's a lot going online, and you'll have to be registered to share in all of this stuff. I'm giving you money to shop at these places, and you'll have to go to GoStever.com to register yourself with the username and password. Then I'll say, I'm not sure the time on Jet's. But we'll tell you, say, 8 a.m., your chance to win $25 at Jet's Pizza, but you have to go to GoStever right at 8 a.m., and then you click accept, and then you go show your phone at Jet's and gets $25. Just like, it's simple, but yet you have to register at GoStever to be in on all of this. So get that done.
Oh, and Jet's Pizza, by the way, provided tickets to the last 3 home games. So that includes March 1st, Indiana, and then March 8th, the last home game against Iowa in the regular season. Nicole Renfro from Tolono, a winner, and Champagne's Jason Winburn, a winner. They went to the Neal and Green location near campus and the Round Barn location, Madison, Springfield. Jet's Pizza saying, go Illini.
You bet. Coronavirus all over the consciousness of us all. It's very much like Ebola, very much like SARS. SARS, was it SARS? We had the Zika. Yeah. When these things happen, they're definitely a concern. I don't think you should say it's not a concern, but sometimes we tend to overplay. And I'm going to make a bold prediction that we're all going to be okay. And if you replace coronavirus, the word coronavirus, with the word flu, another 12 people have the flu today. You wouldn't think anything of it.
Right.
People die of the flu. 16,000 have died this year because of the flu. 16,000. Have you heard anything about that? Because we know it's flu and they're older and they're, the unusual circumstances and pre-existing are really bad. Something that happens. It does happen. This is the unknown. That's the problem. We don't know exactly everything because some of the input coming in might exasperate the numbers worse, maybe even better than they are. I don't know. That's the unknown. The unknown is what scares everybody, and the markets are feeling it. Down 700 points at the open, another 700 points. But I'm telling you, it's going to be fine. But every time we're in these, it feels the same. It's the end of the world. It's going to finish. It's over. I just don't, I'm not buying into it. I think there should be caution and concern, but I don't think it's a panic. I think we're overblowing it, as we always do. And for anybody in Washington to politicize this is just silly. If you're going to blame somebody, it's just silly. And no, rich people get the vaccines and that's just not true. It's so not true. It's going to take a year to get a vaccine, friends. This takes a long time. No rich person gets a vaccine. I'm hearing stuff. And you're going, come on, man. We're smarter than that. We're more sensible than that. We've just got to take a breath and do like we'd normally do if every kid at school was sick or everybody at the office is coughing. You just wash your hands. You ask them politely not to come if they have a fever. And get a thermometer that you know where to find it in your home so you can check. I mean, that's all you do. And then you go on your trips and you go vacation, and you don't have to what about bob it and grab a tissue and grab the doorknob on everything. But just be your normal smart self and try not to think that the world's ending because of a new virus. But it happens every time. Every single time, very predictable. You're going to have the headline of every news story. Markets are crashing. Just don't look at the 401. It doesn't matter because you're not selling it today. So, if you're day trading or you've got certain stocks and, you haven't lost anything till you sell. But I just say, dang it, let's all take it easy, take a breath, and understand that it's going to be okay.
I feel so much better. Thank you, Stevie.
Yeah, right. Okay, I understand. I'm not a doctor. I get it. But I think we exaggerate everything when things like this happen. It's too much.
Well, and some people heard our conversation with CU Public Health District's Julie Pride, and she was saying, stock up, have 2 weeks worth in case you do get sick. But this is all kind of common practice. I was thinking to myself, I think should be ready, and 2 weeks worth of wages and all that.
You should always prepare so if something weird happens, you've got a little food. But I think most people, not all, but a lot of us have cans in the pantry we haven't opened in a while. Right. So there's things in there we can eat that we have. And it's never a bad idea to have extra things. I don't argue with that, but I don't think it should indicate that, we're in big danger of being quarantined in our own house. I mean, nobody's going to stay in for 2 weeks if they don't think it's anything like this new thing. If they're a flu, they'll come out in a week or whenever they're fever-free for a couple of days. I mean, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
But to think that you got to wear a hazmat suit and walk around is just, again, happens every time. It happens every single time. And when you're in the middle of it, you're just like,
Yeah.
Say, shelves are empty.
Right.
Take a breath. We're fine. We're going to be fine, folks. And that's why I thought Donald Trump was magnificent the other day at the press conference. He said, hey, there might be a breakout. We'll be ready. But I think we're going to be okay. That's the demeanor we needed to hear. If he went up there and did the Andrew Yang, it's too late for climate change. Move to higher ground.
Move to higher ground.
Andrew Yang, that should be on a T-shirt. Move to higher ground. Okay, so in other words, if you're in New Orleans, that sounds so good because that's on below sea level, and Villa Grove's a little low down there, so I don't know. So anyway, let's roll into sports. We're good with time. We've got the news coming up at the top with Jeremy Warner's show. Jeremy's going to have a recap. He was in Evanston last night, got home late, and yet he'll be on with all the full recap and the incredible Alan Griffith, and what a time for him to emerge as one of our leaders. So, morning sports, we got
all right.
Spring training going on. Here we go.
We'll take a little break after the sports to make it all time out for the last 4 minutes before Jeremy. So, just know that's a thing. I was just calculating while you were talking there.
All good. All right.
We had a 74-66 win over the Northwestern Wildcats. The big hero of the game and phenomenal Alan Griffin, 24. Career high for him. And then the Illini women are in action against Evanston at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So they'll be facing Northwestern too. Let's hope for the same victorious outcome. Wisconsin upset number 19 Michigan. 81-74 was the final. Number 23 Ohio State beat Nebraska 75-54. On to the pros, where we had Indiana over Portland, 106-100. They have a game at Cleveland tomorrow. Portland over, the Bulls are in New York tomorrow. We have Blackhawks over Tampa Bay, 5-2. St. Louis Blues over New York, 3-2 in overtime. I did take note when Kent was here to talk about other Illini sports, since he's so well-versed in everything. And the Big Ten Indoor Championships will take place at Geneva, Ohio. We also have our women's tennis action against Kansas at 3 o'clock today. Our baseball team at 7 o'clock tonight, Texas A&M is who they're playing. Our softball team out in California, so their Colorado State game is at 7. A doubleheader today. Fresno State will be at 9:30 this evening. Tyra Perry's doing awesome with our Illini softball team. So there's our a few other ones that we're thinking about. I just got a text in from Larry saying, I'm in the stock market pretty heavy. With every action, it's an overreaction. This too will turn around in the stock market, and we'll be back where it was, if not even better.
No, I think so, and I think Larry's right, and I think that there's a buying opportunity going on, and there's no doubt this is a correction that probably needed to happen, and be my guess, where the thing was just rocket high, and I think it'll come back, and I think people are going to jump back in at some point. But again, we're getting more stories about coronavirus. Listen, it's a concern, but again, I think everything we do in this kind of an area is exaggerated to a point. And I don't think, these are the end times. I don't think. I hope not. But I'm telling you, it's always a little bit too much when you got everybody talking about the same things, and then we don't know, and then somebody's going to say something outlandish, and then that'll get out there, and then you're going, that's how it goes.
Thank you for that, Stevie. 8:50. Shall we take a break and come back with weather?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
ESPN 93.5.
ILLINI. Cheer on the Illini at Pia's Sports Bar and Grill. Pia serves up its famous 10-ounce Slugger Burger for only $8.95. Enjoy $3 22-ounce light and Coors Light drafts every home and away Illini game. Watch the game at Pia's or ride the free shuttle to all home games. Plus, enter to win 100 level seats each game. You will find it all at Pia's with live video gaming, sports, food, drinks, and fun. West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands, owner of Lands Inc. Your heating and cooling system works hard for you all year long to keep you and your family comfortable. That's why it's important to have it maintained and serviced regularly. Our techs are ready to help you with all your indoor air quality, humidity, and filtration needs. Visit landsinc.com today for specials on a brand new train system for your home and to see for yourself why it's hard to stop a train. At Lands Inc., our commitment is to you, the customer. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
At Everyday Kitchen Restaurant and Bar, we believe that food makes you feel good. Get cozy by the Open Flame Spitfire Grill to enjoy modern comfort food and drink, crafted with soul and served with heart. Enjoy slow-roasted chicken, hand-cut steaks and seafood, and patiently simmered soups. Dig into fresh takes on homestyle favorites, including the Spitfire Pot Roast or 5-Cheese Mac and Cheese. Book your table at everydaykitchen.com or visit us at Neal Street and Fox Drive, right next to Logic Everyday Community.
All right, let's check your ESPN 93.5 3-day forecast with some nice-looking temperatures bringing in March.
Up towards the freezing point for our high, 16, our low tonight. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a high near 40, down to around 30. Mid-50s by Sunday, and partly cloudy conditions to start. Then we have a chance of rain later and coming into Monday, but highs around the 50s throughout the week. Right now, the temperature's at 27 on ESPN 93.5.
All right. Again, I'm live from Dayton this morning, broadcasting live here from Grace's apartment complex. It's just a fantastic place. It really, really is. And she'll begin her work on WDTN Monday. I think she gets fit for an earpiece Monday, and then what's it called in television, the earpiece? I can't remember. Anyway, she'll get everyone has their own, fits their ear, and then I think she's on the air Tuesday or Wednesday. And so everybody can watch WDTN.com. It's Living Dayton. And we were at a consignment store last night and I said, yeah, you ought to advertise. So I think I'm going to come over on the weekend and sell Grace's show over here. Go. So it really is a good lifestyle show, but I think I was taken back by how big Dayton is. You know what their DMI is? You know what their market size is?
650,000.
It's 1 million.
Oh, wow.
In their viewing area, it's 1 million people, and they're 45 minutes from Cincinnati. I didn't realize it was that close. So we're already talking, shoot, Christian, we can get some Cardinal tickets, go to a game at Reds Riverfront Stadium or something. But no, it's got 444,000 households over here with televisions. It's a big market. I was, in North Dayton, and then I got to South Dayton. I'm going, man, it's been like a half an hour. I'm still driving in Dayton. And I've got to go see the Wright-Patterson Museum. They've got the Air Force One at John Kennedy. It was there in that fateful day in Dallas. And that's what they brought his body back in after the assassination of our 34th president. 34th president, John Kennedy, and then Lyndon Johnson took the office on that plane. And that's on display here in Dayton. Of course, Orville and Wilbur Wright. And, been learning a little about them. Orville was the first man in flight because he won a coin flip with his brother Wilbur, who was older. But the 1 minute flight, or however long that was Orville Wright. And when Wilbur died unexpectedly in his 40s, Orville lost business and he sold everything, all the patents, everything in airline industry, he sold for $1 million. And that would be $25 million to us today. So it was enough to retire and relax. But $1 million for all the patents of Orville and Wilbur Wright's a pretty good deal, even in 1915. Okay, I guess that wraps us. We'll be back on Monday, back in studio on Monday, and I'll be at the Indiana game Sunday. Looking forward to that. Probably have a little hula hands before that and see Sam. But anyway, Diane, thank you for everything. Thanks for helping this morning, and live in studio again Monday.
That's right. Enjoy the day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. ESPN 93.5. So proud of Grace and all that she's doing. And folks have been texting in to 359-2255, the word Honda today to get that qualified test drive. Again, thank you to our friends at Honda BMW for not only being part of the show, but supporting the American Heart Association and that $500 contribution they could make at the cards they were handing out at the Champaign Country Club yesterday. We're ESPN 93.5. Have a great weekend. Jeremy's up next.
Oh, no, it's here. And I'm so not ready. I'm already freezing.
That's right. Winter is now here. So be prepared and call ABC Heating and Air. Their goal is for you to always be comfortable. Protect your investment with a heating system tune-up from ABC Heating and Air and stay warm this winter. Go to abcheatingandac.com or call 352-5400. That's 352-5400.
Hey, it's Shane from Rosati's. I've got kids, and if you've got kids, you already know when it comes to eating lunch or dinner, kids can be very picky. So why not choose Rosati's Pizza? When you dine in, kids eat free on Friday night and all day Saturday and Sunday. Yep, kids 10 and under eat free off the kids menu Friday night, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday when you dine in. Now, this won't last forever, so bring the kids to Rosati's this weekend. And if you need a high chair, just ask. Rosati's Pizza, 701 South Gregory in Urbana.
The goal at PDR Automotive in Urbana is a simple one: to provide you with the safe, reliable transportation in your vehicle. They aren't just after the quick fix to get you back on the road, but instead have two main priorities. They want you to feel safe in your automobile, and they want you satisfied with their work. PDR has been in business since 1973 for a reason. They give quality service and will explain every turn of the wrench. So call them the next time your car or truck has an issue at 367-9481 or visit them on Cunningham Avenue in Urbana.
Caution, a virus has been detected.
Captain, our bandwidth is too low and the firewall is down. The viruses are attacking. This is an emergency.
We'll be just fine. All we need is a competent captain, such as myself. Computer, how are we looking?
Guidance cannot compute. Computers have been infested. We should have used area-wide.
Quickly, call down to area-wide technologies in Champaign. The number is 359-8041.
Security threat neutralized.
Area Wide has done it again. We must remember to call them for our cyber security need. Take us home, Lieutenant.
Hi, this is Vanessa Duncan with Special Olympics Illinois Region I, inviting you to take the 21st Annual Law Enforcement Torch Run Polar Plunge and or Donut-5K, Saturday, March 21st at the Lake of the Woods in Mahomet. Plungers raise $100 in donations, while Donut Dashers pay a $30 registration fee. All proceeds benefit Special Olympics Illinois Region I. Register today at plungeillinois.com and be bold, get cold. Our 21st year on March 21st in Mahomet. Get involved now and visit plungeillinois.com.
If you're looking to save money at a grocery store with fresh fruits and vegetables, with in-store help, and someone who bags your groceries, I invite you to visit Value Check, where cost plus food creates more savings. Value Check, where quality and price meet you in the middle. Did I say you'll save money? You'll save money. Fantastic specials every single week. If you want to save money on your groceries, visit Value Check today. They're at 1914 Glen Park Drive in Champaign.
Every time I've gone to Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford, I've had a terrific experience. I like having a little drive and negotiating the family plan, starting my meal with one of Donnie's